Hello everyone, it's Chef Dominic Stewart with EFNEP, the Expanded Food and Nutrition Education Program with USU Extension. Today we're going to talk about snacks, okay? We all love to snack. I'm guilty of snacking. Everybody snacks, and it's a very, very important part of your diet, actually. You should actually be snacking throughout your day to help keep your metabolism going, and it's a great way to actually get in your daily requirements of a lot of your fruits, vegetables, proteins, things like that. Where a lot of people run into trouble though is overeating, and then maybe not picking the best choice of food to snack on. So today I'm gonna show you a quick, well maybe not quick, but an easy recipe for granola, which takes about 40 minutes or so, but it'll come together and you just keep it in an airtight container and it's at the ready for you to snack on. So let's go ahead and get this started. So in a large bowl here, I have some old-fashioned rolled oats. You wanna make sure that they're the long cooking ones. You don't want quick cooking oats for this, okay? To that, I'm going to add in some pecan pieces. I'm using pecans. You can use any nut that you like. If you don't like nuts, feel free to omit them all together. We also have some flax meal. Now this is just ground flax seed. We're adding this to get some extra omega-3s added to our granola. That'll help with our brain and things like that. We also have some sunflower seeds, which are also a good source of some vitamins and minerals. We have some cinnamon, some sweetened shredded coconut, and some dried cranberries. Okay. To those, we're going to add a nice pinch of salt, some vanilla extract, and about 2/3 of a cup of maple syrup. Now this is real maple syrup. I want you to make sure you look for this and it'll say 100% pure maple syrup. This is not the time and place for Mrs. Butterworth's or Log Cabin or things like that. Those are maple flavored corn syrup and are loaded with processed sugar that you don't need. So we're gonna add about 2/3 of a cup of our maple syrup, and this will be the bulk of our sweetness in our granola, okay? Also going to add just a drizzle of some oil. I just have some extra virgin olive oil here. This will help everybody get nice and toasty and brown. And now we're going to mix these together. So we're going to toss all of our ingredients to coat them in the maple syrup, that's cinnamon, and our oil. So you just want to kind of lift it up and kind of shake off your spoon. It'll start to kind of clump together, and you'll find those clumps and you'll just break them apart. We have our oven preheated to 325 degrees. Granola is a little weird in that it kind of takes a long time to bake, and you have to babysit it a little bit, but I promise you that it's well worth it. With snacking, like I said, a lot of people run into trouble in that they're making the wrong choices when they snack. And a lot of that is kind of due to poor planning. So when you're trying to incorporate some more snacks or some healthier options into your diet, if you plan ahead, like start on the beginning of your week and plan snacks into your daily menus, that'll help you to have everything ready. And you can just have them pre-done, sitting in a container on the counter or in your refrigerator. That way all you have to do is just grab it and go. You don't have to prepare anything, you don't have to mix anything up, you don't have to cook anything, it's just ready to be eaten, okay? So our granola is nice and mixed, everything's well combined. We're gonna pour this onto a foil-lined baking sheet, and I've lined this with foil just for easy cleanup, okay? We're gonna pour this onto our baking sheet. Okay, and you want to spread it out into a nice even layer. This is a great way to kind of play around with some flavors too. Like I said, if you don't like pecans, use a different nut. This goes great with almonds as well. You could also put in pumpkin seeds, things like that. Change up your dried fruit. Okay. So we're going to take this over to the oven. We're going to bake this at 325 degrees for about 45 minutes, and we're going to stir it every 15 minutes or so to make sure it browns evenly. All right, so our granola is done. Just pulled that out of the oven. You just want to let it cool down to room temperature. Give it a stir every now and again to make sure it doesn't stick together in one large piece of granola. If you like granola clusters, though, feel free to just let it cool down, and then you can take it and break it apart into chunks and eat it that way. We'll let this cool down all the way, and then we'll store this in an airtight container. Your granola is great for your morning cereal. This in a bowl of milk is great. You can put this over your yogurt, make a little breakfast parfait with maybe some fresh fruit, yogurt, and your granola. I'll just put this in a bag and eat it plain. But yeah, like I said, change out the dried fruit. Use whatever dried fruit you like. Use whatever nuts you like. If you don't like coconut, don't put coconut in there. And you can play around with seeds and things like that. Granola is very, very forgiving in what you can add and take away from it. This recipe, along with all of our others, are available on our website, and I want to thank you for watching.